Here we go. This is Old County.
And this is not a spring chicken today. We have a very special holiday coming up, which is
Halloween. And this is our annual history of Halloween, which we do every single year. And
you can just pull up the old one.
Well, I don't know where the old one's at, so I end up getting a new one.
It does change a
I could go find the old one.
It does change a little bit though. But you know, Halloween has evolved, and it is now one of the more commercial holidays of the entire year.
And the Obamas are trying to destroy it because they would prefer people, because you eat candy at Halloween. They think that you should give carrots and celery sticks to people to come to your doors instead. Which basically wipes out the confectionery industry. They love that one. I mean, I don't mean that you should stop buying candy and put people out of work.
Okay, now what kid would get excited about carrots and celery sticks?
The same ones that would go to McDonald's. I want the Happy Meal with the carrots and celery sticks. I don't want the French fries. I don't want the soda pop.
I don't want the cookies.
I don't want the cookies. Give me celery sticks. You know, trick or treat. If you don't give me celery sticks and carrots, I will TP your house. I don't expect that to happen very often. Well, maybe the Obama children might, because you'd have the Secret Service there with their, sitting there with their guns under their shoulders. They want celery sticks and carrots, and if you don't give it to them, we'll ring up your tax records.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, like that would happen.
I prefer the old days when you actually see a president of the United States having a Halloween celebration at the White House.
Yeah.
Obama doesn't believe in it.
Well, now Halloween is All Hallows Eve.
Yeah.
Which is a celebration. Which actually started, it was a harvest celebration, wasn't it?
Yeah. You notice that some folklorists or detectives origin in the Roman feast of Pomona, the goddess of fruits and seeds, or in the festival of the dead called Parentalia. It's more likely linked to the Celtic festival of Samhain. Are pronounced so on and so in, so on and so in.
So on, so in.
It's that two different ways. It means summer's end. That's what it means. It means basically
summer's end.
All Hallows Eve. With
the end of summer.
That's right. Basically in the
that kind of makes sense.
Let me put it this way. The Irish tend to be a little bit. It's called basically All Hallows Eve. So that's how it's pronounced as All Hallows Eve.
So where does all this stuff come with all the costume?
Well, basically, we go clean back to a painting by Daniel Malay showing a Halloween party in Blarney, Ireland. I told you the Irish were very big on that sort of thing.
Oh, really? It's from Ireland?
My grandmother loved
Halloween.
The
Blarney Stone?
My grandmother would dress up she'd dress up in an Irish gown. Like the thing that you see in dancing, river dance. She'd wear one of those just and give the kids the candy, and she'd basically, she'd remind people that the Irish have more than the luck of the Irish for them. They have leprechauns that will come after your little soul if you damage my house or property.
Oh.
Yeah. So.
I had no idea that it started from over there.
The young children are bobbing for apples. A couple are playing a vagrant, which involves eating retrieving an apple from a string. The couple on the left plays. I remember. I used to do. Okay, when I was younger, I used to do westerns, a lot of westerns, and they'd have these games where you would have your hands behind your back, and the girl and the guy would sit there.
Bobbing the apples.
Yeah, no, but the apple would be for string, and the guy and.
They're good.
Yeah, we're trying to get the apple and like that. In the bobbing for apples.
Do they still do that? I remember that.
Yeah, it's a lot of. It's still. It's still a big. The adult parties do that now, not the kids anymore, because kids used to get naughty. Basically, like the ancient Celts believed the border between the world and the other world became so thin, allowing spirits of both harmless and harmful to pass through. The Druid religion is an actual religion now, folks.
It is.
Yeah. Actually, I know a Druid priestess. She may be in the family one day. So, yeah. Basically, the time to take stock of food supplies is slaughter stock in winter. Basically, it's the end of summer. Basically, bonfires played a large part in the festivities.
So basically, it's a big party.
It's a party. It's been a party for so god awful long, and the kids were given pastries and stuff at the party. It's always been a time of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, basically Halloween and many of its present-day traditions from the Old English era, yeah. The word Halloween is first attested in the 16th century and represents Scottish variant of the foot of All Hallows Eve, All Hallow Eve. That's All Hallows Eve is how Halloween came about. Hallows Eve, Halloween.
Right.
That evening, Hallows evening, All Hallows evening, Halloween.
I got it.
You sure? That's not for your benefit.
Oh!
It's for the benefit of the people that are running our government that never went to school.
Oh, yeah.
Or for Bill O'Reilly, who basically lives under a cabbage patch. I assume Bill O'Reilly probably condemns anybody that wears a
He's a
spook
Cabbage
contest.
Patch Kid.
I know. Halloween was frequently basically they gutterized it to become Halloween. Halloween.
Hallows Eve.
Here we got the jack-o'-lanterns. So this one's for you because
Why?
Because Kobe's involved.
Oh, yeah, I have a nephew named Kobe, not named after Kobayashi, the world eating champion.
Although you'd think that they have a lot in common because that little kid seems to be like that. So.
But it's Kobe as in Kobe Bryant from the Lakers.
Yeah. But this was in his honor.
Jack-o'-lanterns?
Yeah.
Wow.
From Kobe, Japan.
Really? It's a solemn practice of commemorating the souls in purgatory with candle lanterns carved from turnips, which became adapted to the making of jack-o'-lanterns. In traditional Celtic Halloween festivals, large turnips were hollowed out. Hey, when did pumpkins come into play?
Oh, the carving of pumpkins is associated in North America where pumpkins are red. Remember, pumpkins is an American thing.
Oh, really? You know what? Maybe they don't have... maybe their radishes are really big. We don't have any
radishes.
radishes.
They used to have radishes. They have radishes like that. They've never had a Japanese radish.
No.
I used to grow the thing. God, they're god awful. Like 5 pounds and beautiful. You have one radish and you cut it. My mother, we would grow them in the garden. My mother would slice them up and use them like finger things.
Oh, you know what? I know in Japan where they have all those little things that they, tiny things that they meticulously carve. Well, here in the United States, they're not as readily available, and the pumpkins are larger.
Yeah. But,
and more easy to come by.
Because remember, gourds are all over the world. The American gourd was basically the pumpkin. Pumpkins can grow to be 1,500 pounds in size, so. So if I remember right, what people, because my mother's side, my father's side family too, the American Indians basically would hollow the pumpkins out. They basically, the meat didn't give a darn about. They just hollowed the thing out and let it dry, and they would carry the pumpkin seeds with them in their packs so they could sit there and eat pumpkin seeds.
So,
and the gourds were used to cook in.
Well, so part of it is a lot of this is associated with the Irish, right? Because the Irish were doing it over there. So I guess when the Irish came here and immigrated to the U.S., they couldn't find the big turnips.
So they saw these gourds, and really beautiful gourds they'd never seen, because most gourds are flat and they're basically they're smooth. But the American gourd basically had those beautiful lines on it, and they come in multiple colors too.
But the pumpkins were bigger, and so then they started it over here, the American tradition. So a lot of it was used, it preceded the Great Famine period of Irish immigration. It was originally associated with harvest time. So basically, it's a party.
It's a party.
Party accessory.
Halloween comes from, basically associated with Gothic and horror literature, which explains all of the clothes that the little monsters wear. Horror films, Frankenstein and the Mummy.
So when did all that come in?
19th century, mid 19th century, because that's when Mary Shelley and Browning, that's when Browner started writing all of these things, was in the mid 19th century.
So before that, it was just a party. It wasn't all the Gothic and the mythical bats and werewolves.
I know, but because of all of that, Halloween imagery includes themes of death, evil, the occult, magic, or mythical monsters. Traditional characters include ghosts, witches, goblins, vampires, werewolves, demons, bats, spiders, and black cats.
And now pirates.
Yeah, pirates. Black and orange are traditional Halloween colors and represent the darkness of night and the colors of the bonfires, autumn leaves, and jack-o'-lanterns, trick-or-treating and guising. Oh, we've got trick-or-treating coming up now.
Well, I always thought it was the orange had to do with the colors, the leaves changing.
Yeah, trick-or-treating actually comes
And the black was from the night.
yeah, the Swedes gave us trick-or-treating.
The Swedish?
The Swedish gave us I've been a good Swede. I do trick-or-treating in Sweden. I've been good. Trick-or-treating is a customary celebration for children on Halloween. They go in costume from house to house asking for treats such as candy or sometimes money with the word trick or treat. The word trick refers mostly to threat. Yeah. To perform mischief on the homeowners of their property if no treat is given.
Oh.
Yeah, that's why I told you my grandmother would tell the little monsters, you know, that the leprechauns are protecting this house. And then if like the Scottish children would go guising, in this custom the children perform some sort of trick, sing a song or tell a ghost story to earn their treats. Remember that, you know, which is basically to make the children perform for things. Which in costume it's easier for one to perform in a costume than it is as himself.
Oh, because you're somebody else.
You're somebody
in
else.
costume.
So a person is basically a total introvert covered basically. Now if you got your little,
It's pretend.
yeah. I mean, I used to. Okay. Basically, I used to go. I went a lot as Frankenstein because I put my jacket on backwards, and I couldn't because I couldn't do that. I'd go like this, you know, with my boots on. You put your hat over your head and put white. You know, you put stage makeup on your face, you'd be white. So. Practice of dressing, which comes to practice and dressing up in costumes or door for treats, dates back to the Middle Ages and it includes Christmas wassailing. But you know what wassailing is?
No, what's wassailing?
It's basically singing and stuff.
Oh!
Souling, trick-or-treating resembles the Emily practice of souling. The poor people will go door to door at Halloween, receiving food in return for prayers of the dead. Basically, once again, it all originated in Ireland.
I never knew that it was like an Irish holiday.
Yeah, basically
Oh,
two
it
gentlemen
started
from
in
Verona. Shakespeare wrote about it. To see the whimpering and whining like a beggar at Hallowmas. Western wearing costumes and masks at Halloween goes back to the Celtic.
So the Irish, when they immigrated because of the potato famine, probably brought it
They brought
here
a lot
too.
of their stuff. Yeah, okay. A lot of the stuff was okay. What happened was, back in the days when you came to our country, like everybody else did, which was on a boat, everybody from all these countries in the world came to the United States. There was a melting pot, so everybody's celebrations at that time of the year melded into one another. I'm guessing that basically we're talking the major cities on the East Coast. And basically is where all of these main traditions that we use today all came about because people, it's just like my family are Jewish and my family are Lutheran. So what happens is the kids celebrate two holidays. You know, well, like one member of the family is a Jew and the other members of the family are Lutheran. So basically you can't tell the little Jewish, you know, the Jewish members of the family, well, we can't celebrate that. So you celebrate everybody so the kids go, whoopee! You know, they have a good time, so you have two holidays that time of the year. And I mean, it doesn't say this, but I am basically, I would say that basically everybody got together at that time of the year because they're all about the same thing, All Hallows Eve, celebrating the end of the harvest and all of this stuff and getting ready for the winter. Everybody, they picked and choose the pieces that they liked the best. Mainly the part where you got the eats and the candy and all that stuff. That was
the eats and the candy.
And the mischief.
The eats and the candy.
Because it suits, you know, like, you know, if I do it, I get in trouble.
It's the
But
eats
I
and the
do
candy.
it anyway, you know, because how many adults do you see sitting around? Okay, now we're going to divide the candies up for you. This is good for you. This is bad for you. You know, this is good for you, this is bad for you. Yeah. And then you'll see your mommy and daddy eating all the stuff that, well, how do you know? How do you think that we know it's bad for you? Because we are going to suffer to show you it's bad for you. I got that lecture. I actually, there were some differences between me and my parents. I didn't tend to do exactly the same things that they did. I just, in my case, I say just eat the stuff and make yourself sick and you won't do it again. So, yeah.
And they go, but we don't want to make ourselves sick.
Oh, and then they said, well, okay, here, which of the stuff will make us sick and which won't?